امریکی صدر ڈونلڈ ٹرمپ اس وقت میڈیا سے گفتگو کر رہے ہیں.
What changed about that convinced you to sign on to the G7 statement? Well, I haven't seen the statement yet. When I authorized them to say certain things, I don't know whether or not they said them correctly, but I think they probably did. We had a good meeting. I think that Canadian representative was very good. He did a very good job.
How are the
Carney did a very good job.
How was your meeting with him? How were the trade talks looking with the Canadian?
I think it was good. I think we had a lot of good talks with a lot of people.
You said he's looking for something more complex. Can you tell me what you mean by that?
Well, they get too complex with the deals and they never get done. And we need speed. You know, we're dealing with really, if you think about it, probably 175 countries. And most of them are going to just be sent a letter saying, it'll be an honor to trade with you, and here's what you're going to have to pay to do it. We're making a lot of money. You know, we took in $88 billion in tariffs. And I was called by Congress about 2 nights ago saying, we don't understand, the numbers are so far off. And I said, is that good or bad? He says, well, we're taking in so much more income than we thought. We've never seen anything like this. What is it? I said, check the tariff column. And it's about $88 billion that they've never seen before. And that's nothing compared to what it's going to be.
You've got other tariffs coming down the pipe here.
I have a lot of them, yeah.
What's the timing on those things like lumber, copper, pharmaceutical drugs?
Yeah, we're going to be doing pharmaceuticals very soon. That's going to bring all the companies back into America.
All of them are focusing on...
It's going to bring most of them back in, at least partially back in. You know, they left us because we had presidents that didn't know what the hell they were doing. We should have never lost our car business. We lost 52% of our car business over the years. Should have never lost it. All they had to do is say, if you make a car, you're going to leave us, you're going to make a car, you're going to pay a 25-30% tariff, and they would have never left. Nobody said that to anybody until I came along.
Homeland Security is saying that ICE is going to start enforcing in hotels and farms again. Is that a change of course from last week?
We're going to look everywhere, but I think the biggest problem is the inner cities. We're looking everywhere. Look, what they let into this country, what Biden let in, that were allowed to, I don't think he knew what the hell he was doing, frankly, but whoever worked for him. What they let into this country, we're never going to forget it. They let prisoners in, they let gang members in, drug dealers in, the mentally insane into our country. No, we're going to get them out. There are far more in the inner cities, Democrat-run cities, sadly. I mean, I'm just giving you, there's far more in there than you have on a farm someplace.
And no one's getting exemptions anymore. Everyone is.
Well, everyone's being looked at, but the bigger problem is the cities right now. That's very, and that tends to be where the really bad ones are. The murderers, you know, they've let in 11,888 murderers, people that killed people. Biden allowed that to happen. So the Democrats allowed it to happen. Biden didn't know he was even around.
Question on your Senate confirmations. With all the military actions, there are only 3 of your 6 sub-cabinet members at the Defense Department.
I'd like to see the nominations go faster. The Democrats hold up our nominations.
Are you going to talk to Senator
Yeah, I will.
about that?
John Thune's doing a very good job. You know, I've got a lot of people in, but he's doing a very good job. The Democrats, if we had George Washington up for approval, the Democrats would take maximum time, every hour, every minute, to delay him as long as possible. If we had a combination of Abraham Lincoln and George Washington, they would go max, it's called max time.
Mr. President, you've always said that you don't believe Iran should be able to have a nuclear weapon, but how close do you personally think that they were to getting one? Because Tulsi Gabbard testified in March that the intelligence community said Iran wasn't building a nuclear weapon.
I don't care what she said, I think they were very close to having one.
I got us one on. You were at this beautiful scene for the meeting, and you said a lot about acquiring Canada as a state. Did anybody talk to you about that? And
Well, I think it's a much better deal from Canada, but, you know, it's up to them. They're going to have to pay a lot of tariffs and things. They're going to have to pay a lot of money for the dome, for the Iron Dome. They want to be a part of it. We may make a separate deal on that, by the way. We discussed that, yeah, with the dome. That may be a separate deal. They want to be at $71 billion. They're going to pay.
to be a dome thing separate from the
They'll
tariff.
be in the dome. Yeah, they'll be under the dome.
And are you open to negotiating with the Iranians right now, or do you want to wait?
I don't know. I've been negotiating. I told them to do the deal. They should have done the deal. The cities have been blown to pieces. Lost a lot of people. They should have done the deal. I told them do the deal. So I don't know. I'm not too much in a mood to negotiate.
Do you think you'll be in the Situation Room tomorrow at any point?
Tomorrow morning, girl, while you're sleeping. Goodbye,
What
everybody.
about why did you tell people to evacuate Tehran? You know, you posted evacuate.
Yeah, I think it's safe.
Are you
On
There's a
Minnesota,
lot of bad things happening. No, I think it's safer for them to evacuate.
on Minnesota, there were a lot of horrific details that came out today about the suspect who's been charged there. Have you called the governor yet or been able to speak to any of them?
I don't really call him. Look, he appointed this guy to a position. I think the governor of Minnesota is so whacked out. I'm not calling him. Why would I call him? I could call him, say, hi, how you doing? The guy doesn't have a clue. He's a mess. So, I could be nice and call him, but why waste time?
On the big beautiful bill, sir, can you talk about what the
We're
Senate...
doing well with the big,
How's it looking in the Senate? They
great,
proposed some
big,
changes.
beautiful bill.
Are you okay with their changes?
Here so far it's going well.
Are you going to spend?
Look, if it doesn't get approved, 68% tax increase, and I think the Democrats would have to, they'd be, because we won't get Democrat support. Think of it. We're giving the biggest tax cut in history. Instead, you have the biggest tax increase in history. 68%.
Are you going to extend the TikTok deadline again?
Probably, yeah. Probably have to get China approval. I think we'll get
You
it.
have the legal basis.
I think President Xi will ultimately approve it.
And you have the legal basis to do that.
Yeah, we do.
Two more on Iran. Is there any sign that North Korea is getting more involved in helping Iran, or is Russia getting more involved with
I
military?
haven't seen it. No. I don't think anybody wants to get involved. It's a mess.
What about American citizens, U.S. citizens who are trying to leave the area with the airport shut down, Ben Gurion shut
We're
down?
doing the best we can. We're working on that. We're doing the best we can. Thank you, everybody, very much. Have a good time.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thanks, Karen.
امریکی صدر ٹرمپ اپنے طیارے ایئر فورس ون میں صحافیوں سے گفتگو کر رہے تھے. اب سے کچھ دیر پہلے کی گفتگو آپ نے ملاحظہ کی. امریکی صدر کی جانب سے اس گفتگو میں کہا گیا کہ وہ ایران کے ساتھ بات چیت کے موڈ میں نہیں ہے. صدر ڈونلڈ ٹرمپ کینیڈا سے امریکہ واپس آ رہے تھے جب انہوں نے گفتگو کی صحافیوں سے, اور اس وقت صدر ڈونلڈ ٹرمپ کینیڈا سے واپس امریکہ پہنچ چکے ہیں.